Wife stabs husband for forgetting anniversary gift. Police calls this family matter. Dear men, have you wished your wives and given them a gift on Women's Day today? If not, stay alert when you are asleep tonight. Domestic violence has no gender. But in India, a woman stabbing her husband is taken as routine or just as any other daily affair. If you're shocked with my statement, this story from Bengaluru will be an eye-opener for all the husbands. Before we begin, names of parties have been changed as reported in the media. 37-year-old Kiran is married to 35-year-old Sandhya. The couple lives in Bengaluru, where Kiran works at a private firm while Sandhya is a housewife. On the night of 27th February, when Kiran was asleep at around 1:30 am, Sandhya picked up a kitchen knife and stabbed him on his hand. The husband woke up in shock and pushed Sandhya away before she could harm him anymore. Kiran then rushed to the hospital along with his neighbors to get emergency medical treatment. Since this was a stab injury, the doctors did their duty by registering a medical legal case, that is MLC, and intimated the police. But why did Sandhya do this? As per a media report, Sandhya was extremely upset since her husband had forgotten to give her their marriage anniversary gift on the previous day. Incidentally, the husband missed this gifting event because his grandfather had passed away on that same day. Now, the most shocking part, how did the police react in this case? After the matter was reported by the doctors to local police, a case of attempt to murder was registered against Sandhya on 1st March. But while speaking with Times of India, a senior police official said, "We questioned the wife. Since it is a family matter, we have given the couple time to discuss the issue and get back to us. During investigation, we learned that Kiran couldn't buy her a gift a day before their wedding anniversary because of his grandfather's death. She was disturbed as it was the first time he hadn't given her a gift. Kiran told us his wife was disturbed over some personal issues and he wanted her to undergo counseling." How do you think police would have reacted if genders were reversed? If the husband would have stabbed his wife, or if the husband would have even slapped her? Domestic violence in every form, irrespective of gender, must be called out and addressed. Sadly, in India, women are demigods, and most often, even the men in uniform think twice before taking any serious action against any woman. On the other hand, we are in 2025, and India still does not recognize domestic violence against men as a law. In all such similar situations, the only recourse men have is to file a civil case, that is, divorce on grounds of cruelty by wife. Unfortunately, the matrimonial laws in India are so skewed against the male gender that they themselves overlook such physical violence as ghar ka mamla, thereby ending up spending their lives with such abusive and erratic women. The reference to this story has been published in the description link of this video. Do share these cases as much as you can so that our gender bias laws can be highlighted globally. Husband wins false case by wife under Section 498A, Dowry Act and the SC/ST Act after a 5-year fight. Criminal laws in matrimonial cases were made to aid genuine victims in need. Soon, when the gender power dynamics started shifting in India, the weaponization of these laws became rampant to fix husbands or teach a lesson to in-laws. In a judgment dated January 15, 2025, delivered by the Supreme Court of India, a man has been granted relief after a fight of 5 years. This was a case where a Brahmin man had a love marriage with a woman who belonged to scheduled caste. However, due to matrimonial problems between the couple, the wife left him within 2 years into the marriage and filed multiple charges, including those under the Dowry Act, Section 498A, and the SC/ST Atrocities Act. Following the wife's complaint, the police filed a charge sheet in 2019 against her husband and in-laws, invoking Section 498A, 504, 506 of the IPC, along with the provisions from the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe, that is the Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989 and the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. Now, what were the allegations leveled by the wife in this case? According to the wife, her husband was a sex maniac and a drug addict. She alleged that her father was constantly fulfilling all her husband's demands by repeatedly paying for his rent, foreign travel, and other expenses. She further claimed that her in-laws harassed her and made caste-based remarks whenever they visited the couple in Bangalore, where they resided after marriage. Now, what were the submissions made by the husband? According to the husband, the complainant wife and him enjoyed a harmonious relationship for the first 2 years of their married life. The husband then submitted that these false cases had been filed by his wife as a counterblast and owing to the failure of the marriage between the parties. What was the Mysore family court order in this divorce matter? In August 2023, the additional principal judge of the family court in Mysore granted divorce to the man on grounds of cruelty by wife, concluding that the woman had made several false and baseless allegations against her husband. With regards to the demand for dowry, the family court pointed out that the wife's claim regarding a car gifted during marriage and that her father funded her husband's foreign trips were proven false. Addressing the man being accused as a sex maniac and a drug addict, the family court stated that evidence clearly established that these accusations against the husband were fabricated to gain unfair advantage in both divorce as well as the criminal case. What was the Karnataka High Court judgment? In September 2023, the Karnataka High Court granted partial relief by quashing the charges under the SC/ST Act and Sections 504 and 506, but upheld the proceedings related to Section 498A and the Dowry Prohibition Act. Now the husband fought the case to clear his name from all charges, and he was indeed successful in getting the Supreme Court judgment in his favor. So what were the findings and the observations of the Supreme Court in this matter? To begin with, a bench of Justice Vikram Nath and Justice Sandeep Mehta of the top court relied heavily on the Mysore family court's findings, acknowledging that the additional principal judge had exposed the wife's true motives. The top court agreed with the family court's definitive findings, establishing that the allegations leveled by the wife were false and lacked supporting evidence. The Supreme Court also found charges of dowry demand, cruelty, and harassment to be baseless, false, and frivolous. Terming these false cases as wife's personal vendetta, the Supreme Court observed, criminal law should not be wielded as a tool for harassment or personal vendetta. Allegations in a criminal complaint must undergo rigorous scrutiny to ensure they establish a prima facie case before individuals are subjected to the rigors of a criminal trial. Adding further, the Apex Court remarked, cases filed under Sections 498A and Dowry Prohibition Act must be handled with caution and balanced to prevent misuse. While these laws exist to protect women from cruelty and dowry harassment, they should not be misused to settle personal disputes or serve ulterior motives. Concluding the matter, the Supreme Court stated that since it had been determined that the accusations hold no merit, permitting the continuation of criminal proceedings based on the same allegations would only facilitate the abuse of the legal system. Accordingly, the appeals were upheld and the criminal proceedings under Section 498A of the IPC and Sections 3 and 4 of the Dowry Prohibition Act against all appellants were quashed. This judgment may have given relief to the husband, but raises the most pertinent question as to why our courts do not have the intent to prosecute women who file such false cases. You can read the detailed judgment that is titled P.V. Krishna Bhatt versus the State of Karnataka in the description link of this video. 36 men fall in love with the same woman through a dating app only to get conned. Dating apps are becoming frontrunners as some of the biggest scams of this decade. While it is common sense not to blindly fall for any woman that you are acquainted with through an online platform, yet many men today believe women without basic reference checks or verification. In an interesting story reported from China, 36 men were deceived by the same woman who made them all believe that she was in love with them. Not just deceit in love, but the con woman also convinced each one of the men to buy her an apartment in 2 residential developments suggested by her. What was this scam all about? A woman named Liu Jia would get friendly with men through dating apps, then persuade them that she was looking for marriage, and within a short time induce the men to buy her an apartment before they could formally meet families. Interestingly, Jia would also recommend a couple of same residential developments for investment to all these men. Now, to make the deal and the love interest look genuine, the woman would herself pitch in to contribute part of the down payment towards the booking of the apartment. Once the sale agreement would be finalized, Jia would refuse to get her name added officially to the ownership documents and distance herself from the man and cut off all contact. Sharing his ordeal, one of the victims named Atao said, I met a woman on a dating app in March last year. I fell deeply in love with her, believing she was kind, family-oriented and considerate. The 30-year-old woman from Hunan province, who worked in Shenzhen's e-commerce industry, seemed perfect to me. Within a month, she proposed marriage and insisted that I buy a home before we could meet our parents or move in together. To make her request even more convincing, Jia offered to contribute 30,000 yuan, which is approximately 3.3 lakh Indian rupees, towards the down payment. She recommended 2 residential complexes in Huizhou, where developers were offering substantial subsidies of over 1 lakh yuan, that is rupees 11 lakh, to potential buyers. Believing it to be a great opportunity, I purchased an apartment. However, once the deal was finalized, Jia refused to have a name added to the ownership certificate and soon distanced herself from me, eventually cutting off all contact. Another victim by the name of Wong shared a similar story. He quoted, after purchasing an apartment, I noticed Jia becoming increasingly distant, claiming she was busy. Eventually, she blocked all my calls and cut off all communication. Atao later discovered that it was not just him, but at least 36 men, all in their 30s and working in Shenzhen, who had fallen for the same scheme. Each one of them had dated Jia for just a month or two before being persuaded to buy a flat. Now burdened with a home loan of around 4,100 yuan, which is approximately 50,000 Indian rupees, alongside his rent in Shenzhen and financial responsibilities for his parents, Atao expressed his regret by saying, I dare not have a girlfriend now. While the story is from China, men in India too must learn from these instances and not fall for the same mistakes. Loneliness is the most common argument given by men today for seeking relationships through dating or online apps. However, one must be extra cautious and alert, particularly when the woman starts involving financial discussions or seeks money under any pretext within a short span of time. If men will be firm and strong themselves, we shall be able to eliminate many of such scams ourselves. On Women's Day, Sharad Pawar-led NCP leader demands right to one murder. This is how the social media reacts. International Women's Day is celebrated on March 8th every year. Each time we witness some random feminist engaging in some drama that will perhaps gain her 2-minute fame and popularity. And this year the crown for doing so goes to advocate Rohini Khadse of the NCP Sharad Pawar camp. On early morning of March 8th, while the hashtag Women's Day had started trending, Rohini posted an open letter through her X account to the President of India, Draupadi Murmu. The title of her letter read as follows, "Ek Khoon Maaf" means pardon us with one murder. The leader, who is also a lawyer by profession herself, had expressed this bizarre thought in the garb of advocating legal immunity for women, referring to the rising crimes against them. Rohini Khadse, who is also the president of women's wing of a party, addressed the letter to the president, stating that women seek to eliminate oppressive mentalities, rapist mindsets, and the ineffective legal system in India. Referring to the recent gang rape of a 12-year-old girl in Mumbai, Khadse's letter read, "The incident happened 2 days ago in Mumbai. Think what the situation might be across the country. In the World Population Review survey, India was ranked the most unsafe country for women in Asia concerning their safety and security. The survey includes information on the abduction of women, the disappearance of women, domestic violence, and other heinous issues. Given the scenario, we demand on behalf of all women to allow us immunity against one murder." Citing historical figures such as Maharani Tara Rani and Ahilya Devi Holkar, who took up arms to protect their homeland, Khadse further added, "Women are vulnerable in our country as violence against them is increasing with each passing day. To improve our society, why should we stay behind?" After I came across this outlandish demand, I took to X from my personal ID and posted my comment as below. Dear Rohini, ma'am, can several men suffering at the hands of their wives who are not permitted to even see their children also have such thoughts? It's fashionable to tweet such triggering posts on International Women's Day, but as a lawyer yourself, you must be responsible enough to maintain law and order. The internet was prompt to react, and here are some of the other responses to Khadse. Reacting to this absurd demand, the Red Mic YouTube channel co-founder Sanket Upadhyay also shared his thoughts. He wrote, "This is how some women, in the name of women empowerment, want extrajudicial methods to exist. Since this lady is also a politician of Mr. Sharad Pawar's party and also a lawyer, she has utilized all the tricks available to toy with people's emotions in supporting her. Shame." Several men and their mothers face prison due to false accusations by women in Mumbai and rest of the country. You want permission to murder men without actual trial? If accused has raped, let court hang him. No problem. But turning streets into mob against men based on accusations? Dear Madam, India's laws are already in favor of women. If a woman does anything to a man who's attacking her, it's considered self-defense. Today, a lot of pro-women laws like anti-dowry law and domestic violence laws are misused by women. We have cases like Atul Subhash and Manav Sharma, wherein men have committed suicide allegedly trapped by women in legal mess. If anything, let's empower women to fight, to raise voice against injustice. Let's not encourage taking law in our own hands. Let's not encourage mobocracy. Indian law is already helping women for murdering men. Just kill any man, you will see no one will touch you and everyone will protect you like VVIP, very important asset of the country. Should men also kill women who file false case or false rape case? Sick mentality, absolutely. And also the fact that criminal women go unpunished because of their gender. Make laws gender neutral and punish false accusers strictly. And now for the last tweet for the day. She wants approval for a murder, and that too without a trial. The amazing thing is that she's a lawyer herself. Madam, if the men who are committing suicide decide to do something else before dying, then your Wonder Woman tweets will disappear. #Women's Day. What are your thoughts for Madam Rohini Khadse? Feel free to express them objectively in the comments below.
तो आज हमारे साथ है निर्मल मिश्रा जी। पिछले हफ्ते हमने एक वीडियो देखा था जो ट्रेन पे था और काफी वायरल हो गया था। उसमें एक लड़का है जो एलिगेशंस लगा रहे हैं कि एक दूसरे आदमी ने उनको फोर्सफुली टच किया, फोर्सफुली किस किया, लेकिन जो पैसेंजर्स थे कोई भी उनकी मदद के लिए नहीं आया है। और जब इन्होंने पुलिस से शिकायत की तो पुलिस ने क्या कहा, तो आइए मिलते हैं निर्मल मिश्रा से। निर्मल, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस।
Keep following us on our social media handles, that is Instagram, X, Facebook and Telegram. The ID is @voiceformenin. You can also visit our website voiceformenindia.com to read other articles and stories. If you liked our video today, please consider giving us a like and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you very much for watching. Namaste. Jai Hind.